Hey, honey.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, everybody. It's your boy Fen here once again on the Board Barista Network. Um, Going to cover the Imperial Knights Index today. So this is a special extra episode of the Geeky Grind coming out this Wednesday. So let's dive into the Imperial Knights. Now, before we dive in, I called Imperial Knights as being like top level thing. Over the past week, thing wants to star my files. Anyways, over the past couple weeks, we have seen two Knights list basically take down a couple of tournaments, a couple of 50-mans, and I have all the minis in order to make those armies. So let's take well, I think I'm missing one of the assassins, but let's dive into the stuff and we'll talk about the minis that I got. So let's start off with the rules. We've got the Code Chivalric. This is back from last edition. As long as your army is Imperial Knights, at the end of the mission, read mission objective step, you get to select one of the oaths below. We only have 2 oaths this time instead of 4. So half the number of oaths, still okay. At the start of your command phase, your selected oath deed is complete. If at the start of any command phases, your selected oath deed is completed, your army becomes honored for the rest of the battle, and you gain 3 CP. Can only gain that CP that way once per battle. So instead of getting 1 for your turn, you'll get 4 for your turn. That means you get to unlock some really cool abilities. So the 2 oaths you have to choose from are Lalo the Tyrant and Reclaim the Realm. Lalo the Tyrant, the oath ability is each time this model is selected to shoot or fight, reroll a hit roll of 1 and a wound roll of 1. So you get 1 free reroll of a hit and reroll a hit roll of 1. It doesn't say any, it says a, so it means singular. So you get 1 reroll of 1s for hit and wound, and this deed is completed if the enemy warlord is destroyed. That one's going to be a hard one to pull off, but you get the oath ability no matter what. It's just that 3 bonus CP for getting at the end, so if you think you're going to need some rerolls, then you'd probably take this one. Reclaim the Realm. The ability is you get add 1 to its move characteristic and 1 to advanced and charge rolls made for the model. Nice, being able to get some better speed. Roger's agreeing with me. I really need to set him over to shut up mode. All right, he's in shut up mode. The the deed is completed if you control 1 or more objective markers in your opponent's deployment zone. So this advance in charge and extra movement really helps you be able to get up into their face so you can take that objective. You need to be controlling it at the start of your next turn. So it's a little easier to get. You can rush your knights up to be able to complete this one, but killing the enemy warlord is kind of I feel like that one. It sounds like it's the harder one to complete, but gives you the better ability, I think. The other one is easier to complete, but the advance and charge rolls, it doesn't seem like it's that much of a better thing, so it's kind of a choice, I think, of do you want to get the more CP, do you want more CP, or do you want the ability? Still, late game, I mean, this is a win more ability. Once you've already killed their warlord, you're getting 3 CP, and you're already getting those rerolls already before you even get the 3 CP. So I feel like this one's like win more. This is more help you to win kind of thing. So definitely a pick and choose. Bondsman abilities. Bondsman abilities are back. Some Questoris, basically the Questoris models have these Bondsman abilities. So basically, start your command phase. You get to put your Bondsman abilities on your armigers. They're within 12 inches. You cannot double stack Bondsman abilities until the next command phase. Both of those models, i.e., the models that just use the Bondsman ability and the armiger model from your are affected by the Bondsman's ability. Ooh, we had to take an upgrade. We had to take a knightly court upgrade in order to get that. That's sweet. That's cool. That's awesome. Super heavy walker ability. Makes no move, advances, falls back. It can move over other models, excluding titanic models, and terrain inches that are less than 4 inches in height. So basically, you get to ignore the small terrain, but not the big terrain. Okay. This actually helps out because I had a horrible game. Last time I played Knights, played against Damien while I was up in Maine, and I got a knight trapped behind a bunch of crates that I really couldn't move it out because we have them stacked. This would have let me be able to go and get up and over and around. Free Blades. Free Blade ability is back. And because they broke up the armigers, they're no longer like you can take squads of 1 to 3. They're just going to give you the ability to take 3 armigers or 1 big knight and add those to your army. They cannot be warlords. They cannot be given enhancements. They're just support troops. So that's cool. Love seeing that. That's fun and awesome. Yeah. And actually, it does not give them agents of the Imperium because agents of the Imperium are their own thing. So you can double dip here. You can take a knight and some agents, which is why, the Vindicare Assassin is becoming part of my Knight's army. He used to hang out with the sisters. Now he's hanging out with the big boys. So, all right. So the detachment for the Imperial Knights that we have with the index is the Noble Lance. They have the Indomitable Heroes, which basically all of the models in your army have a 6-up Feel No Pain. And if your army is honored, it gets a 5-up Feel No Pain. Okay, we might be just running into our opponent's side of the board with armigers. Because a 5-up, like, I played a specific house in order to get this ability. House Tyrannus had a 6-up Feel No Pain. Getting a 6-up Feel No Pain that becomes a 5-up Feel No Pain. Chef's kiss. That is the only detachment ability. So now we have the enhancements. Again, like I've said in the other indexes, these are the new versions of War Gear and Warlord traits and relics. So you get these ones to choose from. Revered Knight. Imperial Knights models only, while friendly Knights models within 6 inches of the bearer improve their leadership by 1. If your army is honored, increase the range to 12 inches. No. Mysterious Guardian. Basically, this lets us set a knight model back up into deep strike. Can hide out and come back in. No. This is the one, Mythic Hero. This is the one we want. Questoris model with bondsman ability only, so you can't use it for the precepts, I think is the only one that doesn't have it. Each time the bearer uses this bondsman ability, you can select 1 additional armiger within 12 inches of the bearer that is not already being affected by a bondsman ability. So you get the double bondsman ability. Used to have to be member of the knightly court to get this. Just got to take Mythic Hero. We're going to take that. We're going to put that on a guy. He's going to be a precept. He's going to basically be a precepts because he's going to get the effect of his bondsman ability. He's going to be able to pop it onto 2. And that's going to be awesome. Awesome. Banner of Macaros Triumphant. I really should have taken Latin in high school. Imperial Knights only if you control an objective marker, sticky objective marker. Unyielding Paragon. Each time an attack is allocated to the bearer, worsen the armor penetration of that attack by 1. I'm pretty sure that Mythic Hero is being taken, And Unyielding Paragon is definitely going to be taken because we really want to make our one of our big knights tanky, and we want to make the other one really be the bondsman. I think that was actually the combination that was taken in the last one. So now in the one that took the first place out of the Vindicator Assassin, the list that I want to play. So yeah, Imperial Knights strats. We got the Noble Lance stratagems. So first up, for 2 CP, you got Shoulder the Burden. Pop it off during your command phase. You target one of your knights models from the army has lost 1 or more wounds. And at the start of your next command phase, improve that model's move, toughness, save, leadership, and objective control characteristics by 1, and each time that model makes an attack, add 1 to the hit roll. Ooh! Hit me and I'll hit you back harder. Harder. Restriction, you can only use this stratagem once per battle. If your army is honored, you can use this 1 additional time. It's definitely a way to bump up. One of your knights is taking some damage. You're like, I really want him to stay around. Let's make him a little bit better for a turn. And then if you can get that honored on it, you can pretty much just basically be like, okay, I'm gonna give this to the same knight like 2 turns in a row. Try to keep him alive. Rotate ion shields, still a strat. Use it during your opponent's shooting phase, just after an enemy has selected its targets. You target 1 Imperial Knight model from your round selected as the target for 1 or more of the attacking unit's attacks. And you get a 4-up invuln against ranged attacks. So, yep, just rotate the ion shields. Nothing really to worry about. It's back. It's still here. It's not going away. Thunder Stomp. Fight phase. Target 1 Imperial Knights model from your army that has not been selected to fight this phase, so somebody who hasn't gone yet. Until the end of the phase, the model cannot target monster or vehicles, but all melee weapons equipped by your model have the Devastating Wounds ability. Straight up mortals. Loving that. Loving that. Just going to come up and I'm going to sweep in. Actually, I'm not even going to use the sweep profile. I'm going to use the strike profile. Because all that damage, that extra damage in AP is just going to carry through for some mortal wounds. That's nice. Nice. Actually, I might use the sweep profile just so I can fish for those mortals. Yeah, use the sweep profile. Anyway, or just hit something. Oh, you can't target monster vehicles, but you can target character infantry. Mortals. Dude, I'm just loving the strats. I'm loving everything about this codex. I should have saved it for last. Squire's Duty. Shooting phase or fight phase. 2 or more armigers from your army and 1 enemy unit. So basically, you're going to tell a bunch of your armigers, shoot that guy. Until the end of the phase, improve the strength and armor penetration characters' weapons equipped by those armiger models by 1. If your army is honored, you get to add 1 to the damage characteristic as well. Yeah, that's just pop that off on a couple of armigers and just blast something off the table. That is good. Stratagems continue. Trophy claim. Shooting your fight phase. 1 Imperial Knight has not been selected to shoot or fight this phase. And 1 enemy monster or vehicle. So this is your anti-monster vehicle strat. Until the end of the phase, each time your model makes an attack that targets that enemy unit, add 1 to the wound roll. If your model destroys that enemy unit this phase, you gain a CP. So this becomes a free strat. But if your model does not destroy that enemy model, this unit, you cannot use this strategy again for the rest of the battle. Oof. Oof. Definitely got to use that sparingly. You might want to do a combo of Squire's Duty to basically light it up with shots. Light it up. If it's still standing around, you just go Trophy Claim, and we're going to finish this thing. Valiant Last Stand. 1 Imperial Knights model from your army that's just destroyed. This is during the fight phase. That is eligible to fight but has not been selected to fight yet. You can use the stratagem on that model even though it was just destroyed. Before rolling to see if this model deals any mortal wounds as a result of deadly demise, it can fight. So this is a fight on death for 1 CP. It's assumed to have 1 wound remaining. Unless you're honored, then it's considered to have full wounds remaining. And after it's finished, resolve deadly demise ability as normal. Not bad. The restriction is you can't use Sir Hector. You can't use the stratagem. So Sir Hector can't, but Canis Rex can. So that's cool. Just basically being able to pop off and fight before we die. And now we're into the data sheets. Helverin got a boost in toughness. They're now T10. The rest of the stuff is all pretty much the same for stats. Objective control, they actually got baked in this edition because they were objective secured 5, and they now are OBSEC 8 because they got that free +3 to their objective control value. I like that they're OC 8. That's a good number to have. Basically, just be able to kill any unit that's below half strength. Battle line Space Marine, you just got 4 dudes on there, you're going to be tied. If you're able to kill off a few number of their dudes and then get on the objective, you should have it against any squad. I like this. This is nice. The weapons, the Armiger autocannon went from being 2d3 attacks to a flat 4. Range stayed about the same. Strength went up to 9, so they're gonna, like, Helverins are gonna wound other Armigers on 5s, but they got some ways to get a +1 to wound, so that's okay. The AP is 2, damage is 3. That's all good. Ballistic skills 3 across the board for everything. Melt-A-Gun, got that shorter Melt-A-Gun range, only 12 inches, but it's still a formidable thing to have. The Questoris Heavy Stubber is rapid fire 3, has 3 attacks. So if you're within 36 divided by 2 is 18. If you're in 18 inches, you're getting 6 shots with the stubber. Like that, a lot better than the 4 shots we were getting beforehand. Strength stayed the same. AP stayed the same. Damage, actually, AP went up on the stubber. One of the few things in the edition actually went up. It was worth AP 0. They're still damage 1. The armored feet, not really impressive. Not really anything to write home about. You're not going to be. This is not a melee unit. This is a backline thing. So there's Skyfire protocols. That used to be a strat. It is now baked in. These things are able to fire at fly vehicles, and they get the anti-fly 2. So that means 2s to wound, auto wound. So that's good. They get bracketed when they're down to 4 or less wounds remaining. They have their 5-up invulnerable save only against range. So that 5-up invuln all the way across the board for the entire knight army is just range attacks. Their deadly demise is a D3. So anything within 6 inches is going to take a D3 damage. Options, basically they can take they either get the stubber or they get the Melt-A-Gun. Unit composition, like I said, these used to be 1 to 3. It's now 1. So, and they are battle line, so you can take 6 of each of the Armiger variants. So that's good. We used to be able to take 9 of them in 9th edition, but now we're down to 6. I think it's fair. I mean, unless you're playing 3,000 points, you're not going to have like room in your army list for 9 Armigers. I can't even find room for the 8 I have, and that's like split up between warglaives and Helverins. Okay, so the warglaives, again, toughness boost, OBSEC 8, leadership 7+. Everything here is looking good. Range weapons, they have the thermal spear, Melta 4. I love the fact that Melt-A-Gun, it's not just +2 like it was in the old edition. They've actually amped these guns up. Strength 12, so this is definitely going to wound another Armiger on a 3. This is your anti-tank shot. AP 4, damage D6. 2 attacks. It's good. The Rapier Chainsword, Rapier Chain Cleaver, not the sword. This is like the chain knife. Got a sweep and a strike profile. Sweep just doubles your attacks and takes you down to 10 from 10 strength to 8 strength. Still, these are looking good. Impetuous Glory is the actual ability of this model. And each time it makes a charge move until the end of your turn, melee weapons by this have sustained hits 1. So you charge in, you roll 8, you do a sweep attack, you get like 2 6s. You're possibly able to actually if you do good, if you roll hot, you roll 8 6s, you're going to get 16 attacks. Just sustained hits, nice. Just get some extra attacks in there. Brackets on 4 or less wounds, and the ranged invul save. Only warrior options are swapping out the heavy stubber for the melta. Knight Paladin. This is one of the variants that I can build with my knights. I did magnetize mine so that way I can swap out the guns, but it's kind of interesting because you have to choose between the rapid fire battle cannon, the thermal cannon, and the one that's on the Preceptor and Canis Rex. That uses the same like forearm piece, elbow and forearm piece, so you only get one of those in the kit. So I was foolish and I didn't magnetize the wrist where the gun actually slots on. So, and I think with my sister's inspired knight, my Bloody Rose inspired knight, that one I could actually pop in the freezer and build into a magnetizable swap out gun variant. But the Knight Paladin, this is the one that is armed with the rapid fire battle cannon. Basically each of the knights are kind of like war gear locked, so depending on what you have them equipped with for war gear, depends on which data sheet you're running. The rapid fire battle cannon is blast rapid fire D6 plus 3 and 72-inch range. So that means that if you are within 36 inches, if you're within 3 feet of your opponent, which you can get pretty easily on the board, you're going to fire 2d6 plus 6 shots with the rapid fire battle cannon. Their strength 10, damage 3, AP's -1. It's good. It's good. Rapid fire battle cannon. I love the improvements. The Icarus autocannons have anti-fly 2 and are twin links, so you get to reroll wounds. The Iron Storm missile pod is blast and indirect fire. The Storm Spear rocket pod is just a rocket pod. A lot of the lists I've seen running are just running the Storm Spear rocket pods. I kind of... Yeah, because the Iron Storm, you're going to get a -1. They're going to get +1 to their save. There's no AP. I mean, if it had the ability to ignore cover, then it would be good. But you might as well just take your heavier shots and deal some more damage with them. But Chainsword profile is 4 attacks, or you go up to 12 when you go to the sweep. You're hitting on 3s. Strength 14 for a strike, strength 9 for a sweep, AP -4 for a strike, AP -3 for a sweep, damage 6 flat on a strike, 2 on a sweep. Yeah, use this against your higher toughness stuff. Use the sweep against your infantry. Just call it a day. Use that whole ability to give yourself devastating wounds, because with 12 of those suckers, you should at least have 2 devastating. If you can convert all of those attacks into hits, rolling for wounds, you'll be able to get some devastating wounds there. You're probably not going to be able to get to with just 4 attacks on the strike profile, but of course, this has got the Deadly Demise 6. That's on all of the Questoris Knights. So again, this stat line is also all the same on the Knights. I'll just be talking about individual unique weapons to speed this stuff up. But the abilities, Paladin's duty is the bondsman ability for this one. While a model is affected by this ability, it will have the lethal hits and lance abilities. The lance abilities is a bonus when you charge, and lethal hits mean that if you hit it, if you crit hit, you auto wound. So that's good. It also has the ability Seasoned Noble. Once per phase, you can reroll one hit roll, one wound roll, and one saving throw for this model. Not bad. Get some free rerolls in there. Maybe fish for some more sixes. But yeah. So the Paladin, basically, it can have its melted gun swapped out. It can swap the chain fist for the gauntlet, and it's got the 3 carapace weapons it can choose between. Knight Errant. This is our thermal cannon with Melta-Cirx. 2d3 attacks. So the attack number of attacks stay the same. The strength went up to 12, so this will wound other knights on a 4. AP -4, damage d6, but if you're within that half range, it's d6 plus 6. Ooh, that is aggressive. Errant's duty is the bondsman ability. While a model is affected by this ability, you can reroll advanced rolls for that model, and its ranged weapons have the assault keyword, which means you can move and you can advance and you can shoot. Wish we had advance and charge, but no, we'll yeah, this is cool. Degrades on, and Questoris Knights degrade on 7 or less wounds. So, I like that. Oh, aggressive assault. Each time this model makes a ranged attack against the closest eligible target, add 1 to the hit roll. So, that's good. Advance and +1 to hit if you're shooting the nearest thing. That's pretty good. Again, Errant can do the same thing with his heavy stubber chainsaw gauntlet. Icarus Rocket Bod. The only one that really can't do it is the one we'll talk about in a minute. Knight Gallant. What do we got for new weapon data slate? He has none because this is our fist and sword boy. He is our purely melee knight who got, he might have a top gun, he might have his shoulder-mounted gun, but he really just wants to get into combat. Gallant's duty is the bondsman ability. While a model is affected by this ability, you can reroll charge rolls made for that model, and each time that model makes a melee attack, you can reroll the hit roll. Yeah, charging in, boys, charging in. Martial Pride is his other ability. Each time a melee attack targets this model, subtract 1 from the hit roll. He's like dodging with the kung. It's like giant robot knows kung fu. That might come in handy. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I charged you with this big knight that knows kung fu. You're -1 to hit me. That's cool. War gear options the same as all the rest of them. Just being able to swap out melee weapons and carapace weapons and point defense. Knight Warden. He's got the Avenger Gatling Cannon. The Avenger Gatling Cannon. Yeah, that's 36-inch range, so you can pretty much shoot anything on the table. 18 attacks, +3 ballistics, 3+ ballistic skills, 6 strength, damage, AP -2, damage 2. It's a big mess of shots just coming down the board. Not too shabby. His specials are Warden's Duty, which is his bondsman ability. While a model is affected by this ability, each time an attack is allocated to the model, subtract 1 from the damage characteristic. So -1 damage. Not bad. He's like laying down big cut amounts of cover fire with that Avenger Gatling Cannon. Thin the ranks. Each time this model makes a ranged attack that targets an enemy unit, excluding monsters and vehicles, that attack has the devastating wounds ability. I like that. I like that a lot because you're able to basically take these 18 attacks, fish for some 6s on your wounds, turn those into mortals, and then just basically be able to every single one of those plinks through, you kill a Space Marine. That's not bad. The Knight Warden has the same swap out stuff as the rest of the knights. The Knight Crusader, our big boy. He's got the Avenger Gatling Cannon and the Rapid Fire Battle Cannon as the stock options. He's the only one of the knights that actually gets to be able to swap out his big gun. Only one of the questors that get to swap out their big gun. He can swap out the Rapid Fire Battle Cannon for the Thermal Cannon. And the Thermal Cannon is Blast, Melta 6. And yeah, we all talked about it before, but it's awesome. Needs to be repeated. Melta 6. Crusader's Duty, which is the Bondsman ability. When a model is affected by this ability, each time that model makes a range attack, add 1 to the hit roll. So you're getting better shooting at range. And Punishing Salvos in your movement phase. If this model remains stationary until the start of your next turn, until you start your next movement phase, this model's ranged weapons have the Sustained Hits 1 ability. So you're firing with the Avenger Gatling Cannon. You're making 18 shots. You're guaranteed at least 3 6s out of that. If you're hitting with everything, that goes to 18 attacks to 21 attacks. If you magically roll all 6s, and the odds of that are astronomical, but if you magically roll all 6s, that 36 hits. 36 hits. This thing is going to pick up squads. Trust me. Yeah, so Crusader, again, like I said, he's the only one that gets to swap out the Rapid Fire Battle Cannon for the Thermal Cannon for the Rapid Fire Battle Cannon. So that's good. And I actually like that because the Rapid Fire Battle Cannon lets you get an extra stubber shots with it. But I like the Thermal Cannon a lot more. Alright. Knight Preceptor. Okay. So yeah, it's the Las Impulsor. The Las Impulsor, that's the gun profile that does not I needed to I've got a Canis Rex painted up. It doesn't have the iconography of Canis Rex that isn't modeled onto the unit. So I can either run him as Canis Rex or I can run him as the Knight Preceptor. But probably just going to run him as Canis Rex. I'm allowed to have like 1 free blade in the group. So, yeah, the Deadly Demise for the Questor is still D6. Mentors is the Bondsman ability. Oh, so they do have a Bondsman ability. That's right. They lost their, like, him and Rex both lost like their chaplain style ability. So when a model is affected by this ability, improve that model's leadership by 1, and that model's objective control by 2. That is nice. Get yourself a little bit more OBSEC. Example of the code. At the start of the battle, select 1 unit from your opponent's army. Each time that this model makes an attack that targets that unit, can reroll the hit roll. Ooh, it's like Oath of Moment right there. Just get to... You're like, we're going to kill this dude. So, but you get the start of the battle. So if you got a problem, if they got a problematic like 1 dude on that table, you're like, that guy's gonna die. Like, they're 1 anti-tank option. You're just like, we're putting everything into that thing. That's cool. Knight Preceptor can swap out his stubber and can swap out the melee weapon and can swap out his carapace gun just like every other knight. Knight Castellan. I have wanted one of these things since 8th edition. I just think they're cool. I don't own one. They do get to have their Iron Aegis ability to basically give armigers within 6 inches cover. And Titan Hunter, each time a ranged attack by this model is made allocated to a monster or vehicle, you get to reroll the damage roll of 1. That's good. They got like the Volcano Lance, which is like it doesn't even have melta. It just gets +8 damage. It's got twin melta guns. It's got siege breaker cannon. It's got shield breaker missiles. It's got the plasma desolator. It's got a lot of big heavy guns. I mean, only thing that's like the smallest toughness here is a 6. Like all of this stuff can hurt Space Marines quite well. I mean, plasma desolator alone, just on a standard low level shot, is wounding a Space Marine on 2. It's good. Night Valiant. I was thinking about getting one of these because of the harpoon. Yeah. Thundercoil Harpoon, anti-monster, anti-vehicle, devastating wounds. If vehicles really do become a big part of the meta and knights really do end up taking off, and I think a knight army might want to have like this guy just to be the this is like the anti-vehicle tech, and I kind of wish I could have one. I mean, the Valiant and the Castellan both come in the same kit, and I've got magnets. I can make it work. Just need to yeah, I just need to save up some cash and get one of these at some point. Canis Rex. Okay, so he has the legendary Free Blade. Once per turn, you can target this model with a stratagem for 0 CP, and can do so even if you've already targeted a different unit with that stratagem in the space. So he lets you basically get to be able to fire Overwatch for free and extra time. He's got Chainbreaker. Each time this model makes an attack, unmodified, successful hit roll of 5+ scores a critical hit, and with that, sustained hits. All of his weapons have sustained hits. So, yeah. Sustained hit, basically getting to hit auto wound on a 5. Sustained hit. No, sustained hits. That's an extra shot. So, extra shots, extra hits on 5+. That's pretty cool. Do want to actually get him on the table and have some fun with him. Sir Hector, of course, when Canis dies, Sir Hector comes down. He's got the lone operative, so you can't shoot him outside of 12. Canis Rex is destroyed. Sir Hector is treated as a model disembarking from a destroyed unit. Send him up anywhere within 3 inches, so you don't have to roll on a 2+. He gets out. It's you basically. Spread from a restored vehicle, send up within 3 inches of your Canis Rex model before it's moved. Sir Hector then uses the profile warrior abilities. So he auto gets out now, unless you have to do a desperate breakout. Cannot be selected as a target of any of your stratagems other than core stratagems. So yeah, so if it based your knight, so you can't get him out anywhere, then he's got to use a desperate breakout. But that's not bad. That's not bad at all. And then Chaos Knights. And I don't own the Chaos Knights army, so I'm not going to be talking about the Chaos Knights. So I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you for joining me for Imperial Knights Index Review. Hopefully this was not me being too rambly. Hopefully I was staying on point. I know I'm starting to ramble now. So I will see you next time. Peace.
Hey everybody, thanks for staying till the end of the episode. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Follow us on Facebook at Board Barista Productions. And if you want to support us, Patreon link at the bottom.